What is going on, guys? Welcome to Greggles TV Daily Rewind. This is where we go back a week and give you all of your tech news in one single video. This week filled with Galaxy Note 20 leaks, rumors, all of that good stuff, and so much more. Check out this week. Let me know what your favorite news story is of the week, and I'll see you down the road and the next one. Let's get into the tech news. First story of the day is about the Samsung Galaxy Note 20 Plus, and it is probably going to disappoint you. And the rumor that is coming out so far is from Galaxy Club, and it's about the battery. The battery, as you can see right here from the headline, Samsung Galaxy Note 20 Plus gets a slightly larger battery than its predecessor. Now, if you remember, the Galaxy Note 10 Plus had a 4300 milliamp battery, and slightly is not a lot. So the Galaxy Note 20 Plus is rumored to have a 4500 milliamp battery. That would match the Galaxy S20 Plus, but the Galaxy S20 Ultra has a 5000 milliamp battery. So if you look at things that are going on right now with the Galaxy Note 20 Plus, all indications anyway, at least from what I can see, is that it will be a cheaper phone than the Galaxy S20 Ultra. I would assume at this point it's probably going to cost $12.99 out the gate for the phone, maybe as high as $13.99. But I'm thinking it's going to be between probably, I was saying 1,000 to 1,400, and I kind of still think that's going to be the market for the phone, like between the Note 20 all the way up to the Note 20 Plus, like the highest version that you can get with the phone. So kind of disappointing that it doesn't have a 5,000 milliamp battery in the phone, but at least it's slightly larger than last year's, right? And the last story of the day is about the camera on the back, or at least one of the cameras on the back of the Galaxy Note 20 Plus. Now, the rumors coming out of there is that it will have a 108 megapixel sensor on the back as one of the cameras for the Galaxy Note 20 Plus, most likely making it the same exact sensor as the 108 megapixel sensor on the back of the Galaxy S20 Ultra. Now, there's a couple of takeaways to take from this. The autofocus, we don't know if it's going to have the same autofocusing issues. This uses phase detection. It might use some other kind of autofocusing. Hopefully it does, so it doesn't run into the same kind of issue that the Galaxy S20 Ultra does. Also, the 100x zoom that the Galaxy S20 Ultra uses is not used by the 108 megapixel camera. It's used by the 48 megapixel camera. And I assume the Galaxy Note 20 will probably have the same kind of zoom, which doesn't, again, shouldn't hurt the autofocusing, but if that's something you really, really wanted, we don't know yet if that's going to be in the Galaxy Note 20 Plus. So with all of that said, so far, you're looking at a phone with a 4500 milliamp battery and also 120 hertz display, because that information's leaked out before with an interview that I did with Ross Young. And again, 108 megapixel camera. Hopefully, as long as the autofocusing is better, then I'll be a happy camper with the Galaxy Note 20 Plus. But let's get into the tech news. First story of the day is about the Pixel 4a. Now, the Pixel 4a should be out next month, and we've got some information on it. This tweet comes from Stephen Hall, who is from 9 to 5 Google. He tweets that he's pretty certain I mentioned this before, but I can confirm the Pixel 4a doesn't have Active Edge, first of the Pixel line to leave it behind. Now, if you're not sure what Active Edge is, that is when you squeeze your phone, an action would happen on the phone. So it would bring up like Google Assistant and allow you to interact with it that way. So they're removing that from the Pixel 4a phone. Also, what we know about the Pixel 4a, at least what it seems anyway, is a user on Reddit got a survey showing the potential prices for the Pixel 4a and the Pixel 5. And it says, if these were your only options, which of these Pixel smartphones would you prefer to buy? It says Google Pixel phone, a radically helpful phone from Google, durable plastic body, and includes a 3.5 millimeter headphone jack starting at only $349, or the premium Google Pixel phone, which is the best flagship Google phone, first access to the latest Google features and innovation, best in-class camera, wireless charging, and water resistance, starting at $699. I just keep hearing so many good things about the Pixel 4a. The price at $349 is amazingly low, and just based off some of the charts we've seen for performance, and it's got a new modern design, this could be a huge phone, Android-wise, for people to buy. Next up is all about the iPhone 12 series of phones, and it comes from Ross Young, who I interviewed a couple weeks ago at this point. Now, he goes on to show information about the 12, 12 Max, 12 Pro, and 12 Pro Max, aspect ratios, resolutions, and all of that. So let's take a look. Saying that the iPhone 12 is gonna have a 5.42 inch display, 2348 by 1084, 476 PPI. It's gonna use a Samsung display. iPhone 12 Max is gonna have a 6.06 display, 2540 by 1174 with 460 PPI, and that's gonna use an LG display. iPhone 12 Pro, again, a 6.06 display, same resolution as the previous 12 Max with 460 display, and they're gonna use a Samsung display. And then the iPhone 12 Pro Max, 6.67 inch display with a resolution of 2785 by 1293, 459 PPI, Samsung display. I don't know about you guys, but if I have to upgrade my mom this year, which I don't think I do, but if I do, I think I'm gonna get her the iPhone 12 Max. I think that's gonna be the perfect mix of a nice big display, but being probably well priced at the same time. Now, this other tweet also comes from Ross Young, who talks about the availability of the iPhone 12 later on in the year. He's saying, we also hear that the iPhone 12 panel production will start around 6 weeks late. So rather than early June, it won't start till the end of July, which should imply a delay in the iPhone 12 launch from September to October. So obviously the reason for the delay is the lockdown, the quarantine that's going on right now all throughout the world. Some countries and states are open at this point. Most are not though, fully. So that's why there's going to be the delay. And this, is it going to affect them overall? Probably not. You people that are going to buy iPhones, I think, are still going to buy iPhones. But also at the same time, is this going to affect Samsung? Is this going to affect, other companies? Is Google that release phones at the end of the year? We'll have to wait and see. But from what we've been hearing, Samsung at least is not going to be delayed. Now, the last few stories about the Note 20, Note 20 Plus, and they're about the camera and what it's going to potentially look like. Let's get into it. The first tweet comes from Ice Universe, who says that the Galaxy Note 20 Plus will use 108 megapixel camera, but add a new sensor to assist in focusing and completely solve the focusing problem. So if you were worried about getting a Galaxy S20, or you have an S20 and you're tired of the auto focusing issues and you're worried it will never ever completely be fixed, at least you can go to the Note 20 Plus at that point and get a sensor that's going to fix the autofocusing. So that's great news. I'm actually quite excited to switch over to that phone. But yeah, that looks like the 108 megapixel will remain, but autofocusing will be fixed. But maybe worried or want the 100x zoom. Well, we have information on that as well. This tweet also comes from Ice Universe, who says the Note 20 series no longer retains 100x zoom function. Doesn't really upset me that much. It's cool to have. I mean, it really is cool when you're like taking a picture of the moon or something. I think that's the best case example of something like this. At least it comes out somewhat not looking like a painting, because if you do it to a person, they just turn into a big painting. So not the end of the world that it's not gonna have 100x zoom. Doesn't really bother me that much. Let me know about you guys. Does it bother you? And the last story of the day is the potential look of what the Galaxy Note 20, not the Note 20 Plus, but the Note 20, the smaller version of this phone, is going to look like. Now, Ice Universe tweeted it out, but ultimately it comes from Schnell Case and Harmless Carl, who show off the front design of this phone with the punch hole smack dab in the middle, the squared design, the buttons on the right-hand side, volume up and down, and power buttons. And then on the other photo we have is going to show the back. And remember, this is the Note 20, 3 cameras, and it almost looks like it's in a case, obviously, because Schnell makes cases, so it's more of like a case design. And nothing too crazy looking about it, nothing too magnificent, but it is a cool potential first look at what we're gonna see with the Galaxy Note 20. Let's get into the tech news. First story of the day is, if you're looking to buy an iPhone 12, the latest rumor may upset you. Now, this information comes from Ming-Chi Ku, who is an analyst. He says Apple may not include AirPod headphones in the iPhone 12 box so that they can boost AirPod sales. Now, if they don't include the wired headphones inside of the box, it's not, I don't think it's just to increase AirPod sales. It's obviously also to decrease the price of the phone. I mean, with maybe they're only saving pennies or 25 cents or $1, but still, that all adds up when you're selling millions and millions and millions and millions of phones. That saves you a lot of money to not have to include something extra. Even the weight of everything, maybe the cost of the shipping freight decreases as well. So all of that stuff's going to factor in here. So if I would fully expect Apple to not include the AirPod or the wired headphones inside the box at this point. What about you guys? Does that make you upset when they don't include wired headphones? Let me know. Before I jump into the last story of the day, I just wanted to remind you guys that I put out a huge exclusive video that has not been released anywhere else by anybody else, and this is about the Galaxy Note 20 Plus. It shows a 360 video of the Galaxy Note 20 Plus in all of its glory. You can see how large the back of the camera is. You can see the ports at the bottom, the buttons on the left and the right, and everything at the top as well. So check the video out. It is linked down below. Our last story of the day is finally you can purchase the Aura Blue Galaxy Bud Pluses. Now you can do this on Best Buy's website. For me, it says it'll ship out on May 22nd. And then it doesn't say when they'll arrive. So if it ships out May 22nd, usually they arrive the next day or the day after. So I'm assuming that these will start arriving May 23rd, 24th, or 25th if you pre-order or order them right now. $149.99. Let's get into the tech news. First story of the day is about the Google Pixel 4a. Now remember, that is their budget smartphone, mid-range smartphone spec-wise, but with it's possibly as low as the price is $349. It was due to come out in June. Looks like it's gotten delayed. And this comes from John Prosser, who has been leaking out a lot of Apple stuff, and it looks like he's jumping into some Android stuff now. He says Pixel 4a was originally May, then got pushed back to June, now pushed again. Just black and barely blue. Those are going to be the colors of the phone. Current plan for announcement July 13th. By the way, just 4G, no 5G. Seems like they're ready to ship. The decision is mostly based on market analysis. So a little bit of a disappointment for people that are looking to get a fairly good budget priced phone with mid-range specs. You'll have to wait another month. It looks like because of COVID, what's going on with that, and people maybe not having the best economy here in the United States and throughout the world. But again, not that bad. Just another, I guess it's 2 months now because we're still in May. Next up, if you have a Galaxy S20, S20 Plus, or S20 Ultra, there is a new camera improving update coming out. I know, another one. It seems like there's one every single month. This one is going to be the ATE 6 update. It just rolled out to the Snapdragon and Exynos processor versions of the phone in South Korea. It doesn't look like it's hit anywhere else just as of yet. I would assume America is probably going to get this next month. We usually are about a month behind when Korea and some other places get it. So you're probably looking at June before we get it here in the States. And the last story of the day is about the Samsung Galaxy Note 20 Plus Unpacked event. Now, they usually have the Note event in New York. I've gone the last, I think, 3 years I've been to that one in New York. And always a good time, always great seeing everybody, great getting hands-on with the phone. It looks like it has been canceled, at least the live event at a physical location where people like myself can go. It looks like the latest story coming from Korea anyway, this says that the expected work, which is the translation, so expected work, Galaxy Note 20 unveiled online for the first time. So it's going to be an online only event when they launch the Galaxy Note 20, Note 20 Plus. So they won't have physical press at the event. It sounds like it'll just be, again, a virtual event. So it'll just be like, the way you guys that are watching the event on YouTube, when they do it live, I'll be doing this exact same thing. Hopefully they'll send me the phone this time. They usually don't. But yeah, a little bit of a disappointment for me, but for the rest of the world, it's probably not that big a deal, but good to know. Let's get into the tech news. First story of the day is about the Samsung Galaxy Note 20. Now we're getting These are like photo fleshed out renders of what this phone potentially is going to look like. So let's get into it. So you see on the back of the phone a slight camera bump, which is different from the video I showed you guys a few days ago, the 360 view of the Galaxy Note 20 Plus with a very much bigger camera bump. But this one has a smaller camera bump on there. The buttons look to be on the right-hand side, power, volume, up and down. On the camera and the screen, you get it top middle. Very, very small bezels, squared off design. You also get a mirrored design for the body itself and on the edges. On the left-hand side, there doesn't look like there's any buttons at all. And then in the bottom here, you get the S Pen, which looks to now be on the left-hand side of the phone, bottom left-hand side. Then you get a speaker, a USB-C port, and then a microphone. And remember, the Galaxy Note 20, Note 20 Plus should be launched sometime in August and then released either at the end of August or probably more likely in September. Other than that, the big takeaway is that the S Pen is now seemingly going to be at the bottom left of the device, which is a fairly big change. It was on the bottom right, but for me, I write left-handed, so it's gonna be a lot more comfortable to pop that thing out. I still won't really use it, but what does it make you guys feel with it being at the bottom left?
Daddy!
What do you think, Finn?
Snacks.
Snacks. You want snacks. And the last story of the day is about the Samsung Galaxy Note 20 Plus and the camera on the back there. Galaxy Club got some information that just like the S20 Ultra, where we have that periscope camera on the back there that enhances the zoom, it looks like the Galaxy Note 20 Plus will have something similar. Now, based off of the information we've heard lately, it doesn't sound like it's going to have 100x zoom like the S20 Ultra does, but there should be some kind of increased zoom. Hopefully be something that's more realistic, that still looks really, really nice. 30x on the S20 Ultra looks really good, so maybe it'll max out at that, or maybe it'll max out at 60 or 70. We'll have to wait and see, but it looks like they will have some kind of periscope lens on there. We don't know how the zoom amount is gonna be or the resolution of the camera or anything like that at this point. Let's get into the tech news. We only have one story today. And again, it's about the Galaxy S20, S20 Plus, S20 Ultra, and the ATE6 update, which we mentioned came out in Korea. What? I don't even know. Was it yesterday, the day before? Definitely at most a couple to a few days ago. And now it is already hitting America. This is crazy fast, especially for the amount of time that it went there. So it looks like it's already hitting customers on T-Mobile/Sprint. Now I know Sprint is now owned or called themselves T-Mobile, whatever, but still, we'll just, for the sake of this, we'll say T-Mobile and Sprint. So people on that line of the carrier can now get this update. They're already getting it, and we're already hearing rave reviews about the auto-focusing on there. So they're saying it's much, much better at this point. So one of my viewers, Winko Master, said, Greggles TV, so far I'm impressed with the new update. One thing I don't like is the shutter lag. Samsung always had it. Transit Watch 889 says it's still a touch slow in terms of the autofocus, but much more impressed with how close you can get with the text now for scanning docs, which was a problem. Edit with more testing, it's definitely better. I'm impressed. They worked some magic. We need a full review now with this latest update. So as time has gone on, they have improved the camera, especially on the S20 Ultra. It hasn't been perfect at this point, but I'm waiting for this update. It doesn't look like it's out yet at the time of making this video for Verizon, AT&T. If you're unlocked, you probably can get it, I would assume, on one of those other carriers that has a T-Mobile or Sprint. But it should just be, I would say, a day, two, maybe a few days, maybe a week at this point before you get it in America if you're on one of the other carriers that has not received it. Let's get into the tech news. We have one story today. It's all about the Samsung Galaxy Note 20 Plus. And the Note 20 Plus, you probably want to know what's the confirmed battery size. Now, we've talked about the battery size previously for the Note 20 and Note 20 Plus. The confirmed one we're going to read about is about the Note 20 Plus. Now, in the past, we've heard about the Note 20. Note 20, the rumors of the battery size for the regular, smaller Note 20 is going to be 4,000 milliamps. Kind of small, kind of disappointing, but it should be probably absolutely fine. Now we're going to talk about the Note 20 Plus. Now this information comes through China's 3C certification, which is when new products pass through their government certifications. this is where it's coming from. So based off this chart, the battery size for the Galaxy Note 20 is going to be 4370 milliamps, but that's really going to equate out when they release the battery information to the public with specs to 4500 milliamps. So you're looking at a 4500 milliamp battery for the new Galaxy Note 20 Plus, and that's what we've been hearing based off a lot of the rumors over the last week or two at this point, is that it's going to have a 4500 milliamp battery, and this Chinese 3C certification confirms that at this point. So if you're coming from the Note 10 Plus, you will have a slightly larger battery with 200 more milliamps, so 4300 versus 4500 milliamps battery. And you got to remember, a lot of the people that already have the Note 10 Plus raved about the battery life with the Note 10 Plus, so you should have very similar improved battery life with this phone as well. But you gotta remember, the new Note 20 Plus is going to have 5G on there, so that will eat at the battery a lot faster than LTE would. There you guys go. Thanks for watching. Your question of the day is, how does it make you feel? I asked this a lot with you guys, with your feelings and stuff, because I want you guys to get emotional. I'm just kidding. How does it make you feel? 4500 milliamp battery in the Note 20 Plus. You think it's too small? You think it's perfect? Let me know in the comments down below. I personally think it's too small. I think at this point they should be pushing those 5,000 and over batteries, especially with these very expensive premium phones. That's my thought. Let me know what you guys think. We'll see you guys down the road. Peace.